Hi everyone. I just wanted to give you a quick introduction to what we are learning about today before you start with your problem set. So in this unit of math, we are learning about shapes, and in yesterday's problem set, we learned about equal parts. So those are parts of a shape that we get from dividing it or cutting it into pieces. And remember, equal parts are all the same size. Today, we're going to talk about two types of equal parts, and that's halves and fourths. So again, the vocabulary that we're going to be learning about today is halves and fourths, and I'll explain what those are in this video. So first, we're going to talk about halves, and halves are two equal parts. So let me show you an example. I have this square here, and I want to divide it or cut it into halves, just like we did with that sandwich yesterday. So I'm going to divide it into two equal parts, and I'm going to use a dotted line to show you how I do that. So here, it doesn't look that great, but I have two equal parts that are almost the same size. We'll say they're the same size. So I have two equal parts that are the same size, so I have two halves. Again, I have two equal parts that are the same size, so these are two halves. Now there are lots of different ways to divide the square into halves, so I'm going to show you another method. Remember, I need to get two equal parts. Another way that I can divide this square into two equal parts is by drawing a diagonal line. And that's when I start in this corner and I go down to the opposite corner. So now I have two pieces that are about the same size. I have two halves. So when I have two equal parts, I have two halves. See that? So there's a few different ways that we can divide this shape into halves. And again, halves are two equal parts. All right, now let's talk about how to divide a shape into fourths. Again, we're going to talk about how to divide a shape into fourths. So that's four equal parts of this shape. So here's our square again, and this time I want to divide it into four equal parts. I want to divide it into fourths. So I'm going to draw lines from the top to the bottom. And when I'm done, I'm going to have 1, 2, 3, 4 parts that are almost the same size. We'll say they're equal parts. So here I have fourths. I have 1, 2, 3, 4 equal parts. This is fourths. But as we already know, there are lots of ways to get four equal parts out of this square. Let me show you another one. If I draw a line from the top to the bottom, and then also a line from one side to the other. Now it's not perfect, but I have 1, 2, 3, 4 equal parts that are almost the same size. So here again, I have fourths. I have 1, 2, 3, 4 equal parts. I have fourths. You see that? You know what? I just thought of one more way that we can divide this square into fourths. And that's if I draw another diagonal line. So I start in this corner. And I go down to the opposite corner. And then I start in this corner. And I go down to the opposite corner. Look at that. So once again, I have four equal parts. 1, 2, 3, 4. This time they're shaped like triangles, but again, I have fourths. I've made four equal parts out of this shape. So just to review, today we learned about two types of equal parts, and that's halves, which is two equal parts, and fourths, which is four equal parts. Again, today we learned about halves, which is two equal parts, and fourths, which is four equal parts. And that's all I have for you today, so go ahead and get started with your problem set, and good luck.